Okay, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I pulled both heads off. They're in the engine shop right now, being worked on. I have some gasket material I got to clean off these yet and get them ready to put the heads back on. But all part, you see, disassembled it. Yay, get to put it all back together again. Old gaskets. The other odds and ends are over here. Go on the top. Again, got to clean those surfaces up, get that ready for the new gaskets. In ordering the new gaskets for this car, and I did order a complete set, which you can order this set, which is just the head set, and for about $10 more, you can get the entire engine set, the entire set for $10 more. And I had a coupon code, and the entire set cost me $68 delivered to my door, where this alone was like $90 without a coupon. So, wow, pretty smart just to get the whole set, even though I may not use it, but if I have to pull a water pump or something, I'll have the gaskets already. If I have to do anything on the front or the oil pan or any of that stuff. Oh, and I did get a new muffler. Sitting here in the box. It's that'll be the last thing I put on, because after I get the engine together, I'll make sure everything's taken care of so I don't blow another muffler up. Stuff. But it kind of sucks. I really was hoping to have this done by now and be driving it and enjoying it. And the engine shop I took the stuff to, when they checked it all out, I asked them, I said, only replace what needs replaced. Don't call me saying, hey, you need this, you need that. If you think it needs replaced, just replace it. But if you think it does not need replaced, do not waste a lot of money on stuff that doesn't need to be done. You know, give me what I need, but don't overprice me and kill me on stuff. And I went and checked on it the other day, and they said they had to resurface that mating area from the head to the block. They said that one of the heads is warped just a little bit. So they just took both heads and shaved them down 500 thousandths. And they should be done here in the next day or so. They were able to get to it pretty quick, which I'm really happy about. I called other engine shops, and I was 3 to 4 months out just to get head work done. So it must be a lot of people having their motors redone or fixed or whatever, which sucks. But when I get this back together, I'll get some more video posted. Hopefully it'll run really, really great, and we'll see what happens. On that number 1 cylinder, on that head, they showed me the valve when I stopped by. The valve is pitted and corroded. It looked like the valve was underwater. Maybe there was water in that head before I got the motor, and it just corroded it. So that valve had to be replaced. There was no ands, ifs, or buts about that one. So that's where my leak was coming from. I want to come back here in a second and talk to you about some of the car shows I went to and my thought on them. So hang on, and I'll be right back. Okay, my thoughts on a couple car shows. I've gone to 2 now in the past, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. The first one was a pretty nice show. They had 300 cars at least, and they had a variety of cars. They had some really, really nice, sharp, $100,000, $150,000 cars, and they had some rusty, junky, I wouldn't give you $500 for it cars. You know, it's open show, so you can have anything you want. But going to that show, there's a couple things that were kind of wrong to me, and I don't know how the rest of you feel. I don't know if a lot of you go to car shows or if you just enjoy working on your cars. But at the car show, one of the things I didn't like is the club putting on the show was the Corvette Club. And to me, if you're a member of the club that is putting on the show, you should not be allowed to win anything. I mean, nothing. Not a door prize, not an award, nothing. You know, you're putting on the show, and it kind of looks shady if your club's winning a lot of stuff at one of these shows. And one of the winners at the car show that had a really, really nice Corvette was a 2024 Corvette. Now, how are you going to compete against a brand new, shiny, smell brand new car that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars right off the showroom floor? And again, Corvette Club. I don't think that should have been allowed, but it is what it is. Yeah, so if you're going to a show, keep that in your mind that if the club is actually being let to participate, that they're going to win stuff. So you might as well get that in your mind right now. They're going to win. Another thing that was brought up during the show is there was a really trashy 69, 70 Mustang Fastback there. And the guy had taken the old body and put it on like a 2016, 17 Mustang unibody, the Coyote motor, all this. He just dropped the body on top of the newer car. And it was funny because all the airbags were blown inside. He showed it all. He didn't care. And he just slapped it together, and it looked like a piece of crap. And there was a car sitting next to it that's really, really sharp, and there was two women sitting there. And I walked up to look at the Mustang, and I'm just looking at it in amazement that this guy was able to pull this off with the wheelbase and all that. I thought, that's pretty cool, you know. It was trashy, yes. You know, it's got potential. It's going to cost you a hell of a lot of money. But the two women made the comment, and I overheard them. The one says, what the hell is so special about that piece of junk compared to our car? And I thought, really? That's your comment right there? And I just turned around and said, it's the ingenuity that went into it, the mind, the thinking, his mindset, that he said he could do this, and he put the two together. It's just cool what people can do if they put their mind to it and decide, hey, I'm going to do this. Maybe he's seen it somewhere on a YouTube channel. Maybe he heard about it in a magazine. I don't know. But it was impressive to me. And yeah, I did go to the old junky looking one before their nice shiny car. Sorry, I preferred that. I like seeing what people come up with and stuff. I went back later to look at the Mustang, and the guy's girlfriend was there, and there was a bungee cord holding the passenger's door shut to the car because nothing was actually fixed, lined up, and set. And I said, so you go for a ride in this thing with a bungee cord holding your door shut? She goes, yeah. She goes, I told him, if I fall out, you better stop and pick me up. And I just started laughing. I said, well, maybe you just need to go to the hardware store and get like a barn door latch and stick on there. She goes, hey, that's a thought. Why the hell not? She goes, it's going to be a long time before he really does anything with it. He kind of likes the way it looks. And you know what? So did I. You know, would I drive it on the road? Oh, hell no. No. Not driving anything like that on the road. I'd be terrified. And if my wife went with me, which 100% she would not even get in that rusty thing, and she fell out, she would divorce me, sue me, and take everything I had because she fell out of the car, which I find kind of funny. Well, in the second show I went to, it was a smaller show. I'm going to say 80 cars, maybe. You've seen video of that too if you went back and looked. There's nothing spectacular. And there's a huge club that put that on, a different club. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of the Pharaohs. They're Pharaohs, and they're out of Bluffton, Indiana. I sat with them, really super nice people, kind as can be. They even had a parking spot saved for me that I didn't know about. I pull in there, and they're like, hey, park right here, park right here. And they moved some chairs out of the way for me, which was really awesome. You know, I got front row parking almost. And I've been sitting with them and talking to them. You know, they say the Pharaohs are all over the United States, just different places and stuff, which is pretty cool. Talking to them, though, they put on like 6 to 8 shows over there in Bluffton, Indiana, a year, which is amazing. They say they got some really, really great sponsors over there. They have one sponsor that's a car guy, and he wants to remain anonymous. He's a business owner. He doesn't want to support any other car events or clubs except their club. And he donates $5,000 a year to them to do what they want with, which is fantastic to have that kind of support behind you. And I know all the businesses over there must support them because the door prizes they give away are from all over that town. So it's a pretty amazing show. But getting back to the show, the one thing I want to talk about is a friend of mine had won at the show the week before, and that was a 300 car show. He won over there, and that's fabulous. How 300 cars to win. And at this show in Bluffton, it was brought up with, I ended up winning over there. You know, I didn't win at the 300 cars show, but I did win here at this little show. And it was brought up, how do they judge? How do they decide? You know, because one person seemed a little upset they didn't win. And I explained to him, which none of my concern, I don't care how you feel about it, you know, but I'll tell you how I feel about it. You cannot take car shows personally. You cannot get mad. You cannot get upset because you don't win somewhere. You know, you go there to hang with people, talk cars with people. You know, my wife talks crafts with the women and stuff. You don't, if you're going there for a $5 trophy, you're wasting your time. Don't even bother going because you're not going to have any kind of fun whatsoever if you're out there trying to score a trophy. If you get one, it's a bonus. And when they were talking about how do they judge these shows, you got to remember, most shows that you go to, there's a group, an individual, the Girl Scouts, the mayor, it could be anybody. They're out there picking the cars that are going to get awards. And you got to remember, they're picking what they like. It's what appeals to them. You know, the guy judging the show sees this Trans Am here, and he could care less about muscle cars, and he likes the newer stuff. He's going to pick something newer. You know, or you get the older gentleman that's there, and he likes the stuff from the 30s and 40s. He's going to pick something from the 30s or 40s. You know, it's the judge's preference, what they like, what they see and what appeals to them, what brings back their memory. They're the ones that are going to pick what hits them the most, you know, or, wow, my dad had one like that. They're going to pick that one. You know, you can't go to a car show and expect to win every time. And when I go to car shows, I don't even expect to win. I'm not there to win that $5 trophy. You know, I'm there to have fun, talk to people. And actually, you can make connections at car shows, which you can buy other cars. You can find other parts. You know, it's really a great place to make those connections. You know, you're looking for something, somebody may have it. I was asked at the car show where I got my air conditioning hoses for my 70 Cutlass because the guy had a Starfire and he couldn't find air conditioning hoses. And I told him where I got them, and I said, he said he already checked there, they don't have them. I said, well, you know, Napa can make almost any hose you need for your air conditioning. They'll use your old fittings if possible. You know, they can do that. And he said he checked with a couple Napas and they said no. And being that it was an Oldsmobile, the Oldsmobile Homecoming was coming up, which it was just held here Father's Day weekend, so it's past right now. But when I was talking to him, I said, hey, next weekend, great big homecoming show up in Michigan, in Lansing. There'll be thousands and thousands of Cutlasses and Oldsmobiles and anything you can imagine Oldsmobile is going to be there. There's going to be hundreds of vendors up there. I said, make the road trip. It's 2.5 hours. It's well worth it. I've gone several years. Drive up there. You will find your part. If you don't find your part, there will be somebody there to tell you where to get that part or who can make you that part. And his response was, yeah, I don't want to drive that far. Well, do you want the part or not? Do you want to make the connections or not? Sometimes you got to go a little out of your way to get what you want, you know? And I found that kind of interesting. Somebody didn't want to take 2 hours out of their weekend to go to a show and make that connection and get the parts you need. When I was doing my 70 Cutlass, I went up there and spent the whole day, and I came home with a truckload of parts for, honestly, almost nothing. They were selling stuff so cheap because there were so many vendors there with the same stuff. People were marking things down like crazy just to try to move it because they didn't want to haul it back home. So I came home with a whole truckload of parts, and I found a lot of parts I needed for my car. It's not saying it happens all the time. You know, you might get a couple of vendors like, yeah, I ain't going to come down even $1. Screw you. But again, when it comes to car shows, man, just go there and enjoy the show. You know, don't freak out because you didn't win a trophy. It's someone's preference. It's what they liked. And one of the other things, years ago, we owned a 49 Mercury. It was chopped. It was a custom Mercury. The thing looked beautiful. It pulled everyone in. It was just one of those cars that you had to go look at. You know, it was just amazing. But in all honesty, that thing drove like a turd. I hated that car with a passion. My wife loved it because of the looks, and she owned the car. I drove it everywhere, wherever we went, and it would go to Michigan, no problem. But so many things going wrong. It was like, I don't know, fighting a semi with no power steering all the time, riding rough as can be, something always breaking. You know, because it was a custom car and there were so many parts. There was Ford parts in there. There were Chevy parts in there. There were Chrysler parts in there. It was a mixed match of anything and everything to make a custom car, and it was a really pain in my butt, you know, so. But in owning that car, we've gone to so many shows where little kids are looking at that and just amazed, and they see no door handles, and I wonder, how do you get in the car? And I would show them where the switch was to pop the doors open. And they thought that was cool. And they wanted to sit in the car, and I let them sit in the car and stuff. And other car members that I had followed up to these shows and that are like, what are you doing letting kids all over your car? What the heck, man? You're letting them touch it? You're letting them get in it? What the hell's wrong with you? I said, what do you mean, what's wrong with me? I said, I'm thinking, what's wrong with you? This is the next generation that's going to own these cars. When I'm dead, maybe they'll buy my Mercury. I don't know. You know, they'll set a memory off when they get older, and they'll go, wow, I remember that car. I want one just like that when I grow up. You know, I understand that you got thousands and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in your cars. And I understand you don't want anyone touching them, feeling them, or anything. For me, fingerprints can be wiped off. I don't mind kids touching my car. I don't mind kids wanting to sit in my car. It doesn't bother me. What bothers me is adults that are sitting there leaning against your car, talking to their friend, or have their hand on your hood while they're talking to somebody. You know, that's what bothers me. The kids don't. It's the adults that know better, that should know, hey, you don't lean on someone's quarter panel sitting there like you're bullshitting with your friends. You know, go walk somewhere else and go lean on something else, a tree or something. But you know, the kids, oh my God, I let them in my cars. I let them touch my cars. I let them look at my cars. It doesn't bother me. It really, really doesn't. You know, it scares me when I see bicycles and wheelchairs coming up beside the car and cars are close together. But everything can be fixed eventually, you know, if it gets scratched or something. At least that's the way I look at it. But yeah, enjoy the hobby, man. Get out there and have some fun. You know, my wife's talking about going to a car show this coming weekend, and I told her it's going to be 96 degrees with high humidity. This fat boy ain't going to no car shows. Sorry. He's going to be sitting in the house in the air conditioning. But when my motor gets done and all back together, I'll go ahead and shoot some more video of all that stuff and get you guys all set back up. Hopefully it'll run really, really good. I already told the engine shop that if I put this together and I don't have the compression the same all the way across the board due to the heads being screwed up, they'll have to pay for the parts and labor, and they'll have to take it apart, and they'll have to fix it, because I'm not going to go through it again once I spend all that money for head work, put it back together, and it isn't fixed. But they guarantee me it'll be fixed. And the guy doing the job, basically he's a newbie. I don't know if you guys know who Lingenfelders is. A lot of you are going to know Lingenfelder. They're here in my hometown. Lingenfelder's based here. They do a lot of work. He worked for them for 5-6 years doing engine work. And where I took my engine or my heads to, They had hired him to come there because they wanted to start a machine shop. They already do auto repair and they do a little painting, but they wanted to do an engine shop because there's none here in town besides Lingenfelder's. So the guy invested in a lot of very, very expensive equipment. And right now he has a back room, a big area being completely renovated. I seen them in there working, putting walls up, running electricity. They're going to put all their machinery back in a separate room, so there'll be a separate place for all the engines to be worked on and not out in the shop with the rest of the cars. And I think it's going to be really lucrative for them. I think it's going to be a big success. You know, the kid seemed to know his stuff. When I was talking to him about this, he was letting me know, yeah, Pontiacs are different than Chevy, and most people don't realize that. You know, Pontiacs are non-adjustable lifters. You set them at so many foot-pounds and it's done. Chevy, you sit there and adjust. So that made me feel a little better about leaving them with them. You know, I wasn't sure. But like I said, I had called other places. It was going to be months and months before they could get to the work. So anyway, enough rant and raving. I'm going to go find me air conditioning. This building right now is probably at about 76, and I don't have air out here. If any of you guys like to donate air, shit, I'll take it. I'm going back in where it's nice and cool and low humidity in my house, and I'm going to chill for the next couple of days because then it's back to work. Thanks for watching my video. Later.